Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday Eve to you, and welcome to Daybreak Plus. I'm Rob Evans. We're breaking down all the news you may have missed overnight, and we're digging deep into what matters to you. We begin with the Austin city leaders who have to make a decision today on the future of the I-35 Cap and Stitch project. It's a transportation project that builds parks that are caps over I-35 to unite a divided part of the city. But Austin City Council members, they are kind of divided as well on how to pay for it. The city facing a $33 million deficit in next year's budget. Now, some city council members, including Mike Siegel, say approving the funding for this project will set the city back from paying for other things like housing or city programs, new parks and services. They say a scaled-down version of the project may be more feasible. Take a listen.
Whether it's the hotel occupancy tax, with the car rental tax, other creative funding sources that allow for us to pay for the caps that would have no impact on our ability to build parks, no impact on our ability to house individuals.
Yeah, other city council members you heard there, like from Councilmember Ryan Alter, says the project doesn't need to be all paid for right away. It can be paid for in installments and identified with sources for funding.
That would allow us to build two caps later and would allow us to save the rest of our bond capacity, about $700 million, for immediate needs like housing, flood prevention, parks, senior centers, pools, and more.
And that was Siegel right there. In total, the cost of the project would be $1.4 billion with annual maintenance costs at about $50 million. Council members have until May 31st to submit plans, but their vote today will determine what direction they actually choose. And friends are remembering an Austin tech worker whose life came to a tragic and violent end on a Cap Metro bus last week. Police say a man admitted to stabbing 30-year-old Akshay Gupta because he looked like the suspect's uncle. Here's KVUE's Isabella Basco.
A giver. That's how Pedro Villarreal remembers his friend Akshay Gupta. They were part of the same running club that would meet every Saturday.
He was a giver. He would give his time, he would give his friendship, he would give his attention.
And it turns out Gupta was also running towards a vision. Villarreal says he held a prestigious non-immigrant visa for people at the top of their field. An engineering graduate of Penn State, Gupta came to Austin with hopes of starting his own company, an idea called Footbit.
I think one of his goals was to use it for elderly people when it came to walking.
Annette Armenta met Gupta at the same running club and remembers the sacrifices Gupta made for his vision.
I know that he declined a $300,000 job offer by Amazon because he actually wanted to pursue his dreams.
Those dreams now put to halt after Gupta got stabbed on a Cap Metro bus in South Austin last Wednesday night. During the investigation, detectives learned the suspect, 31-year-old Deepak Kandel, stabbed Gupta in the neck without being provoked. Police say Kandel admitted to stabbing Gupta because he resembled his uncle.
I was speechless. I just couldn't believe it.
It could have happened to anybody. And so to think that you can one day just go into a public bus and get stabbed, it's pretty crazy.
As Armenta and Villarreal come to terms with their loss, they now look at Gupta's contributions as a compass for a life well lived.
I think that a lot of people leave this world without impacting people, and that's okay. But in this case, I think that actually impacted my life in a really, really good way.
I actually brought the example of giving without asking anything in return for that. And so we could use more people like him.
We also reached out to the Penn State Engineering Department for a comment. One associate professor is saying many people remember him fondly. Kendall faces a first-degree murder charge. He's being held at the Travis County Jail on a $500,000 bond. Well, it is now 7:05 and things are back to normal at the Austin airport. The FAA issued a ground delay, though, at the airport for several hours yesterday because of an air traffic controller staffing shortage. It's the second time this month staffing shortages have caused delays at the airport. On May 11th, that issue delayed inbound flights for several hours. Other recent outages were reported from Denver to Houston. Here's U.S.'s Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy.
The fixes are going to take us some time, some months, some years, but if we're going to fix it, we have to start now, and that's what we've done.
Now, the CEOs of 10 major airlines sent a letter to Congress yesterday pushing for immediate action, calling for system upgrades. And as we just said, Austin's airport's not alone. Shortages are causing problems everywhere. ABC's Andrea Fuji has more on the ongoing issues across the country.
This morning, travel trouble as the Memorial Day holiday rush begins. Flights at the Austin, Texas airport grounded yesterday because of more air traffic controller staffing issues.
The fixes are going to take us some time, some months, some years, but if we're going to fix it, we have to start now, and that's what we've done.
At busy Newark Airport outside New York, the FAA now extending limits on flights after multiple air traffic control system outages blamed on low staffing and outdated communication systems. Other recent outages were reported from Denver to Houston. And now the CEOs of 10 major airlines sending a letter to Congress yesterday pushing for immediate action, saying air traffic controllers should not be operating with corroded copper wiring, floppy disks, and physical strips of paper with flight numbers. And serious upgrades need to happen now.
Most Americans today walk around with more computing power in their pocket than air traffic controllers have at the ready.
Record travel is expected this Memorial Day weekend. More than 3.5 million Americans are expected to fly, a 2% increase from last year. And more than 39 million will travel by car, about 1 million more than last year. And for many, the weather not cooperating, with heavy rain today along the I-95 corridor in the northeast, along with wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour and snow possible in northern New England.
Analysts say fewer people are traveling abroad this year, so get ready for bigger crowds if you're traveling to tourist sites here at home this summer, like national parks. Andrea Fuji, ABC News, New York.
And it is a 7:07. Let's get a look at weather and traffic with Casey doing double duty this morning. And what can we expect out there today, Casey?
Yeah, I mean, warm and humid. Again, we got the nice little break in yesterday. Boy, did it feel good, especially compared to what we've dealt with recently. But here we go. It didn't last too long. Those low clouds back overhead as we take a look out across the University of Texas. Temperatures right now in the middle 70s. Austin Airport out towards Camp Mabry. And we're back with those tropical feeling dew points. Elsewhere, low to middle and upper 70s. We're looking at certainly a warm up from yesterday by about 7 to even up to 16 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, where we even had to remember that some 50s on the map out across the hill country. Reason being, humidity back with us. Winds back out of the south. We've got a warm front lifting northward across the area that will continue to keep our dew points in that kind of tropical feeling range to humid range as we head into the afternoon. And it's here to stay through the holiday weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we will continue with the heat, the humidity, and with that also the triple-digit heat index values, feeling as hot as 102 degrees for this afternoon. Saturday and Sunday, those heat index values peaking at around 103 degrees. The good news is I do have some relief in sight from the heat, but this is also going to be paired with a chance for at least some needed rain. But yeah, the day it's going to fall on is Memorial Day. So timing this all out, today should be a fairly quiet day, at least to start. We'll see the return of some sunshine once these low clouds start to break apart by this afternoon. Spotty showers and storms possible, especially after 5 o'clock today. We'll be looking at some isolated pockets of some heavier downpours, lightning, and I do think we'll have the potential of maybe even seeing some stronger storms out across parts of the hill country, with the chance of seeing some additional isolated storms overnight tonight. There's our severe weather outlook. Mason County, Lannick County, North Burnett County. You'll be looking at the better chance of seeing some storms capable of producing some large hail, along with some gusty to damaging winds. Highs today, middle and upper 90s is where we're heading. Winds of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, we're back into 60s, low to middle 70s, similar to what we woke up to this morning. And then highs tomorrow, right back up into the middle and upper 90s. And we'll be looking at, again, those heat index values climbing to and above 100 degrees during those peak daytime heating hours. All eyes on the holiday weekend as we head into Saturday, 99. So even our air temperatures are going to be close to the 100-degree mark by Saturday. It's going to be a hot start to the holiday weekend, but a dry start. If you have plans to head out maybe to the pool, head out on a boat on Saturday, you should be okay. By Sunday, we'll see that chance for showers and storms increase. And Monday's the day I'm most concerned about for those outdoor plans, especially if you have them in the afternoon. As for today, again, today we'll be featuring that chance for isolated showers and storms. Tomorrow, dry, Saturday, dry. Here we go into your Sunday. That's when we start to see that coverage pick up, moisture increasing out ahead of that front that slides on through as we head into Monday, likely sunny sometime in the evening. We could be looking at some kind of line of rain and storms reaching our area. Still something that we have to nail down as far as coverage goes. I will say some long-range models not as excited about the coverage as this particular model, but we will be looking at that enhanced chance for rain and thunderstorms where we could be watching for some heavier pockets of rain, and we'll also have to watch for maybe the potential of seeing some strong severe storm kind of risk as that front moves through. Of course, all the details will be nailed down here as we head into the coming days. 7-day forecast, upper 90s Thursday and Friday and Saturday. We keep it dry for the start of the holiday weekend. There is that increasing rain chance through Monday. Memorial Day looking like the wettest day out of the holiday weekend. But the good news with this particular front is not only will it be bringing us likely some needed rain, but also looks to bring us a cool down, unlike the front that we just had. We're talking about going from the 90s back down into the 80s, and we haven't seen those in quite some time for Tuesday and Wednesday. Those highs cooling to at and slightly below average levels. And a look at your traffic this morning. We have been tracking now some backups across the area. We have some stalled out vehicles and some blocked roadways across parts of the area. We've got a lane blocked on exit ramp due to the stalled vehicle. This is on US 183 southbound at I-35. So you can see some slowdowns there along that stretch of US 183 right now. Farther south, we did have a stalled vehicle that was along the stretch near the Del Valley area. That has now since gone away, so some good news there. We're starting to see some improvements. And then we've got kind of our typical slow spots this morning. If you're traveling in from Butte to South Austin, you can expect some slow to stop and go traffic. Average speed at around 29 miles per hour. Round Rock, we're going around 33 miles per hour traveling southbound along I-35. Some slower traffic out towards the Manor area as well. But smooth sailing. Cedar Park out towards Oak Hill, you're still looking okay this morning. You can see that traffic piling up, heading northbound again. This is near Taft Lane along the I-35 stretch. If you're traveling southbound, actually from North Lamar Boulevard along I-35, it actually looks pretty good right now if you're about to head out on this Thursday morning. Mopac drive times, if you're traveling to work via Mopac, heading from Texas 45 to downtown, this is going southbound. You can expect what could be about a 14-minute drive time there, 63-minute speeds. Mopac North, US 290 to Cesar Chavez, about a 4-minute drive time there, 62 mile per hour speeds. So Mopac actually not looking too bad at this hour either.
Casey, thank you very much. A suspect is in custody this morning for shooting and killing 2 people outside of a Jewish museum in Washington, D.C. Those 2 people worked at the Israel Embassy. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the latest on this investigation.
Overnight, police in Washington, D.C. investigating the deadly shooting of 2 Israeli embassy staff members. Authorities say the man and woman were shot at close range as they were leaving the Capitol Jewish Museum.
Prior to the shooting, the suspect was observed pacing back and forth outside of the museum. He approached a group of 4 people, produced a handgun, and opened fire, striking both of our decedents. After the shooting, the suspect then entered the museum and was detained by event security.
After the shooting, a man in custody inside the museum was heard chanting support of Palestinians.
Free, free Palestine!
He implied that he committed the offense. The suspect chanted, "Free, free Palestine," while in custody.
One witness says she gave the man water, unaware of what had unfolded.
We offered him water and he was like, "Yeah, that'll be great, actually." That's when he reaches into his backpack and pulls out a keffiyeh and says, "I did it. I did this for Gaza."
The shooting suspect, identified as 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez of Chicago. Police say they had no prior interactions with him. The American Jewish Committee was hosting an event at the museum celebrating Jewish heritage at the time of the shooting. Israel's ambassador to the UN calling it, quote, "a depraved act of anti-Semitic terrorism," saying the young embassy staffers killed were a couple who were planning to get married.
The young man purchased a ring this week with the intention of proposing to his girlfriend next week in Jerusalem.
As for the security questions being raised after the shooting, that museum just last week awarded a $500,000 grant to increase security. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Well, here in Central Texas, House lawmakers voted to advance a bill that would put strict regulations on the hemp industry. Talking about Senate Bill 3, it includes a ban on most consumable products with THC, which is the chemical in marijuana that gets you high. Others testified changes are needed still, but State Representative Jean Wu criticized the arguments in favor of the bill for being outdated. Take a listen.
It is 2025, and we're still rehashing parts of reefer madness from the 50s and 60s. I know that we talked a lot about the dangers of THC, and while this is a substance that children should not have contact with, I think the dangers are way far overblown.
One more vote is needed in the House to pass that bill. And today, the Texas House will take a final vote on a bill meant to clear up confusion about the state's near-total ban on abortion. This is Senate Bill 31, the Life of the Mother Act, and it lets doctors use their judgment to save a pregnant patient's life. It clarifies they don't have to wait until the patient is near death to act. Now, the bill follows reports of women being denied care in life-threatening situations. It does not expand abortion access or change current exceptions. Some lawmakers, including State Rep. Charlie Green, fear the bill creates loopholes.
Simple. We do not want women to die from medical emergencies during their pregnancy. We don't want women's lives to be destroyed because their bodies have been seriously impaired by medical emergencies during their pregnancies.
And if the House passes the Life of the Mother Act, it will go to the governor's desk. And the Texas Senate could take up a revised school finance bill as early as today. Lawmakers reached a deal on House Bill 2, $8.5 billion school funding bill. It's $500 million more than the House first proposed. Lawmakers say that extra money will go to paraprofessionals, the people other than teachers who work to keep Texas schools running. Representative Brad Buckley also says the bill will include historic teacher pay raises. Now, it does not increase the basic allotment, which is the base amount of state money that districts get per student. Instead, it includes a flexible allotment mechanism to help districts pay for things like utilities and transportation and healthcare costs.
We said from the very beginning, we wanted to drive dollars to the classroom. This bill is about the classroom. It's about safe schools. It's about early education, early literacy, and numeracy to make sure those kids learn more. It's about career and technical education. And then it's about investing in our teachers.
It'll be up to the Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick, to decide exactly when that bill comes to the floor for a vote. Well, pregnancy brings plenty of excitement and plenty of questions, like what's safe to eat, right? Consumer Reports breaks down the foods in the fridge that could pose a risk and some safer alternatives. Here's Jenny Lee.
When Bianca Isa Salaya found out she was pregnant, her focus shifted. Everything she did was with her baby's health in mind.
I just wanted to make sure that I did my part the best that I could to make sure that my daughter had the best chances of being healthy.
Part of giving your baby the best begins with making sure the food you eat is safe. Pregnant women need to be especially careful to avoid Listeria, a harmful bacteria that can sometimes be found in ready-to-eat foods. According to the CDC, about 1 in 4 pregnant women who get Listeria lose their pregnancy or their baby shortly after birth.
Listeria can thrive in cold, damp places like food processing plants and survive on all kinds of surfaces. The list of foods that can carry Listeria is long, so focus on avoiding those that pose the highest risk.
That includes deli meats, some cheeses, hot dogs, and prepared deli salads. Soft cheeses carry a risk of Listeria and are best avoided during pregnancy. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and arugula are also risky, but because they're packed with nutrients, when possible, choose greens you can cook.
You can lower your risk by cooking foods thoroughly to a safe internal temperature, which would kill any Listeria present. Using a food thermometer can ensure everything's fully cooked and safe to eat.
With that in mind, it's best to steer clear of raw or smoked seafood like sushi or lox, refrigerated meat spreads or pâtés, and raw alfalfa and bean sprouts. Talk with your doctor to get clear guidance on what's best for you and your baby.
It's better to sacrifice a couple months to make sure everything's safe than to risk it.
It all adds up to a safer pregnancy journey. Jenny Lee, KVUE News.
Jenny, thank you very much. Hey, some last-minute changes are coming to President Donald Trump's tax cut and spending bill. Comes after days of closed door negotiations. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio breaking down those changes.
This morning, House Republicans rolled out President Trump's sprawling spending package after turning up the heat on more than a dozen House Republican holdouts. President Trump sounding optimistic on its chances of passing.
We're doing very well. It's very close.
The Republican-led spending bill would fulfill a number of President Trump's campaign promises, from extending Trump's 2017 tax cut, lifting the federal income tax on tips and overtime work, and providing $50 billion to resume construction of the border wall. But the package would also slash federal spending by more than $1.5 trillion, including cuts to food assistance and Medicaid, which could leave more than 8 million Americans without health insurance over a decade. Democrats slamming the bill.
These extremists want to take food out of the mouths of children, veterans, and older Americans. And they're doing all of this to enact the largest tax break for billionaires in American history.
House Republicans are right now debating the bill in hopes of passing the legislation out of the lower chamber and onto the Senate. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And actually, a few hours ago, the U.S. House did narrowly pass that tax cut bill. We leave you this morning now with something to talk about. More live theaters in town. The touring Broadway cast of Moulin Rouge is in Austin for one more weekend, performing shows at the Bass Concert Hall. KVUE's Moulin Masimoto got to chat with some of the leading cast members about the show.
It's high kicks and bright lights here in Austin with the 10-time Tony-winning Broadway musical in town.
Moulin Rouge is such a spectacle. It is a feast for the senses.
The show's got a mashup of about 70 original and cover songs.
So I feel like whether you are a David Bowie fan or a Britney Spears or Lady Gaga fan, you will find kind of something in there for you.
And not to mention the choreography.
Sonia Tai won the Tony for this choreography, and it's so dynamic, it's so genius.
J. Armstrong Johnson, a Texas native, plays the lead role of Christian.
I've been in love with Moulin Rouge, the movie, since it came out in 2001 when I was a child. So I told myself as a kid, when it becomes a show, I'm going to play Christian.
It's been a highlight of the Broadway tour, performing in his home state. And Ariana Rosario, playing the leading lady Satine, said the cast got a warm welcome from the Lone Star State on opening night here.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. We got a yeehaw. Everyone backstage is all that they could talk about from like the opening of the show onwards, and they're like, we got a yeehaw.
They're hoping more people come out to see the magic of a stage performance.
Live theaters, there's literally nothing like it.
It's not like you're watching something on TV where you'll always get the same performance every single time that you watch.
And this show's one you're gonna want to make some noise for.
We love a responsive audience. I mean, theater is about the exchange between the performers and the audience, and so our show is fun and it's ruckus, and so when we have a ruckus audience, then it makes our job more fun.
That does look fun. There are still 6 more shows to catch this weekend, and if you want to watch these full interviews with the cast members, you can find them on our KVUE YouTube channel. All right, and one more thing this morning. I know I said the last thing was the last thing, but this is crazy. A cure for baldness, and apparently it's legit, all right? Scientists at UCLA have been working on a permanent fix for hair loss for more than a decade, and they say they have come up with a major game-changing breakthrough, game-over type stuff. So they came up with a chemical. It's called PP405. That's just the name of it. And what it does is it blocks a protein that keeps your hair follicles dormant. And what it does is it tells you, hey, let's start doing your job, protein, right? It regrows the hair. And it doesn't regrow peach fuzz. This literally grows back, they say, full, thick hair in 1 week. What? Now, if the FDA ends up approving it, which it's going through right now, it could be on your scalp by 2027, 2 years from now. I mean, people have been trying to cure baldness for years, and my hairline just in time, right? Just in time. That's it for Daybreak Plus. Let us know what you want to talk about. Message us at 512-459-9442. Can you believe it? Is it real? What do you think? I mean, they say it is. You can also message me on social media at Rob Evans TV, on Instagram, on Facebook, or X. And stick around because Daybreak continues right here on KVUE Plus. Goodbye, everybody.